Welcome back to Tu-Vie, your TV movie entertainment needs channel. As we approach the end of this year and the start of a new year, I wanted to go over the top 10 movies of 2024. Now, I did give my top 3 as well as Connie Cameron on our podcast, the season finale of the Tu-Vie podcast. Go check it out now. But genuinely making the 3 list was a little tough. The full list is on our LetterBoxd of all the movies I have seen in 2024. I made a lot of time for these things, so go check it out and follow us on LetterBoxd for all the lists there. But we're a movie channel, and I wanted to talk about some movies, so let's get into it. 2024 has been a big year for movies, whether it be stuff that was incredible, remarkable, or flat out awful. There has been so many pieces of media that have shaped this year. And keeping it only at 10 is a tough gig for me. I like a lot of the movies I see. Commonly on the podcast, I speak about whether the movie is crap or not. Just, it's very left and right. But there's also a lot of things I do find good, even with bad movies. Except Harold and the Purple Crayon. I couldn't. I really couldn't. And Joker Follow It Do. That one, woof. And actually, I could go on for a long time. I'm not going to do that. Point is, I try and find a lot of good in the bad, but making this top 10 list has been very hard for me. But let's do what we can. I'm going to be giving some honorable mentions before we go in. So honorable mentions are Transformers 1, Wicked, Saturday Night, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Dee Dee. Now, those are in the top 15, not necessarily in that order, but those are just the honorable mentions I have before the top 10. Wicked, I've said 1,000 times, did not expect to like it, and I really did enjoy it. Some of the songs I could live without, some parts I could live without, but overall, I did enjoy it more than I thought. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was a great way to revive the trilogy with a new setting and a new set of characters. Just was so good, and I'm so excited for the next two. Transformers 1 was a very fun return to what I would say is the correct source material for Transformers, and it told a very unique story. Brian Tyree Henry, I think, stole the whole show. Start to finish, fantastic. Megatron, just beautiful performance. I would go into detail for Saturday Night, but I already did in our Saturday Night review, so go check it out right here. Dee Dee, I think, was a very fun coming-of-age story. I always enjoy coming-of-age stories because I feel like they make other people who have experienced different stories of coming of age in like their own life feel more seen. As we all have our own walks of life, I feel like the more we get coming of age stories, other people can connect with it and make how they grew up feel less, like it was only you that had these experiences. Not to say everyone else's experience isn't valid. It's more about, it makes you feel less alone. Like, whenever anyone goes through any problem, commonly the first thought is, oh, I'm the first person to ever experience this or have this feeling or whatever. And commonly you're not. So I think media that can help you feel less alone or kind of relive some of the things you did as a kid and like look back and like, man, I was stupid, or I remember that. Kind of see your own growth, makes you feel good at the same time. Overall, great story. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But now, let's get into the top 10. At number 10, we have Kneecap, a movie about two kids rapping in their native language and fighting against oppressive government with music and great storytelling. Is just a great story, flat out. The movie was super entertaining. The music was fantastic, and having the people that actually made up the rap group Kneecap, all 3 members, is a great choice, as I feel like if you're going to tell your story, you should be the one to do it. Kind of like what they're doing with Better Man or the Robbie Williams movie. I think it's a pretty cool choice. Seeing these 2 kids make the music that fight against the government and fighting that their language be seen and recognized, I think there's no better story than that. And at no point did the movie feel like it had to kind of like catch you up to speed on the issues that people were feeling. Like you can feel the frustrations of what their government has been putting them through the tone of their vocabulary, just even through the characters. Yes, they filled in some gaps because, as someone who lives in the States, haven't really heard about this. And so I feel like getting to see this firsthand from the people that experience it and the group that caused the whole thing is awesome. And since that movie, I've legit been listening to their music, and it's awesome. Putting this music out in their native tongue and getting people involved in the growth of it was a great idea, just, for their music and everything, but just, it tells a great story, and I don't want to give too much away. It's on Netflix, go now. Speaking of Netflix, a movie that came out that genuinely felt nostalgic to watch was Hitman. Hitman got back into the great chemistry that is rom-coms. This feels like a rom-com that was just made like 10, 12 years ago, and it just finally took like the time to release it. I don't know. It felt like a blast from the past, and it was not a bad thing. Glenn Powell's so damn charming. It gives this movie's heart and character, and he also just gives a flat out great performance on being all these different characters. So I mean, what more can I say? It's so much fun, super funny. Go on Netflix and watch it. It's great. Next up at number 8, we have I Saw the TV Glow. Having this movie be a metaphor for transgenderism, I think is a really unique way to do this. And I think for the story of it, as I found the term, is called the egg crack. It's the moment where someone realizes that the gender they have doesn't necessarily correspond with how they feel, and the steps that they take to make that change, or sometimes don't make that change, and how that psychologically can hurt someone or heal someone if they make the change, was really well told in this movie. I didn't know that that was the story at first. I thought maybe it was like a thriller or something like that. But then when Cameron told me that this was the story, I was more inclined to watch it because I wanted to see how they would tell that. Because I mean, like I said, I barely caught any of the trailers. I kind of want to go into it blind. But knowing that this is what the heart of the movie was, which I think is really great, because I think people who can tell stories like Bones and all, I may not have actually enjoyed the movie itself. I do think the portrayal and the ideology of what that movie was built from is unique, especially at the end of the movie with I Saw the TV Glow, where Justice Smith's character has that moment in the birthday party, and at the end, he's apologizing, but no one can really hear him. It's like the internal monologue broke me. It was a heartbreaking moment, and at the same time, it could relate to a lot of people who had not made that change, because in the movie, it talks about how he felt a certain way, but then never made the change. And you can assume that there is a feeling of conflict that he has, but it's so beautiful as a movie. And if you have the time, I really recommend going to see that. I believe that's on Max. A bit of change of pace. I saw this a few days ago. Nosferatu, game changer for me. As I don't watch horror, I really don't go out of my way to go see horror, but this, I was like first in line. I legit waited all year to go see this movie. This was in my top 10 of 2024, and it did not disappoint. This movie was eerie. The music made me uncomfortable the entire time. The jump scares were used sparingly. It wasn't like always in your face. It was just properly used, and it was very horny. Like really horny. Like not in the way where it detracted from the movie. Like it just was so jarring. Like it takes it out. It somehow was a part of the movie. I don't know, man. You got to really see it for it to make sense. If you don't like horror, then ask your friend who saw it. But yeah, great movie altogether. Lily Depp Rose arose to the occasion of her leading role in this movie, because whoa, she gave it all. From 0 to 60, 60 to 200, and then back down to 0 in seconds. The range was fantastic. She legit probably read reviews of The Idol and was like, I'm flipping it. Did a 180. That was number 7. Genuinely go see that in theaters. It should still be out now. Or if you're watching this in the theaters, go buy a DVD, because we believe in physical media here. Number 6, Alien Romulus. I'm a big sci-fi fan. I'm a big fan of the Aliens franchise. We're working on an Aliens episode for season 4. But my God, was this a beautiful return to the franchise, return to its core. Super fun. You gotta love it. The third act is kind of where it drops from a 5 to like a 4.5. Not because it was stupid, just kind of felt long. I didn't hate, I guess spoiler warning, the hybrid. Loved that. That was sick. I just kind of felt like there was like a slow ending, and then a back thing, and then another ending, and the back thing. So it's like, I get that's kind of how the movies work. It just happened too many times, like in Deadpool 2. And now we've reached the halfway point of the top 10 with top 5. Number 5, We Live in Time. It broke me. Movie was beautiful. It broke me, but it was so beautiful. Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield, wonderful chemistry. Start to finish, just beautiful. Go see it. It's so good. Number 4, movie I saw very recently as well, Conclave. Best Picture contestant, right there. I mean, I think it's going to take it. The cast was fantastic. Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow. Knockouts. I love me some Tucci. Tucci was really great. I thought he was fun, but the movie itself, having it be a movie of deceit and lies and faith and politicizing, cardinals, which I it is kind of the whole process when you have to pick a new pope, that, there's a display of honor that they try and put on so they can become the next pope. But at the same time, I never realized how politicized it is. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I've never dug deep into the Cardinals picks and see the amount of effort they got to put in jammers so people don't read the lips or something. Just like the effort they have to go through just to make a decision for the Pope that could last weeks is incredible. Fantastic movie. It's, I think, on Peacock. Go see it now. Top 3. Number 3. This is all said in the podcast, so I'm going to go quick with this. Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Love me some Mad Max. Anya Taylor-Joy ripped as Furiosa. Such great action. George Miller's just great. Love the grittiness. And Chris Hemsworth being a bad guy. It worked. It was great. It was weird, but it was good. Number 2, Dune Part 2. Now, number 2 and number 1 went back and forth with me because they were both so good. But Dune Part 2 is my number 2. Like I said, love sci-fi, and it was just this spectacle of what Denis Villeneuve was creating, and how a lot of it was practical. I mean, yes, it's CGI for most parts of it, but like the effort went into making this movie, and having it be the success is so cool. And I love that Dune is making a good comeback, and it's not kind of cheap, but it's just great. And last but not least, number 1, Challengers. Luca Guadagnino just nails it out of the park with this story of telling conflict between people with the love of sport and passion, and it's just the fire of competition on and off the field is brilliant. I could legit go on and on for so many of these movies that I've listed. Some of them I haven't. Some of the worst ones I can go on, but if you want to check out the full list, it is on our LetterBoxd in the description. Check it out. 2024 is a big movie. Had a lot of fun reviewing it. Check out all the past episodes of season 3 that we have on the channel in our video formats. If you want to check out the audio formats, go check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcast. We do have a season 3 recap video that is done in the style of Deadpool and Wolverine's Green Day. That was an idea from Colin, so be sure you're on the lookout for that, and our season 4 announcement. Or you can check out our Instagram and TikTok while they are both active. Instagram, we're going to keep pumping that out. We're trying to catch up. We really use it a lot this year, but TikTok, that's on the back burner right now. But we hope you guys check out Instagram and keep up the fun with us. And as all these movies are great, I also want to hear what your guys' favorite movie of 2024 was, so be sure to leave a comment below. Thank you guys again for watching, and we will see you guys next time.